Good evening and welcome back to my Dwarven Fortress of Esmulrakust, where we stopped last time at the point when the third of my siege operators had just rushed out of the fortress for reasons unclear in order to get into a fight with the zombies who are besieging the fortress, which is kind of almost normal here now. At least this is the second time it's happened. Um, so yes, I I think what's happening here is that in the olden days, which means before Dwarf Fortress version 53, um, siege operators were a wholly civilian profession, which meant that even when operating a siege engine, have they would behave like civilian dwarves, and if, for instance, something scary got close to them, they would run away from their siege engine. This was not very good if you wanted them to be able to shoot the siege engine at scary things. And this seems to have been fairly effectively fixed in Dwarf Fortress 53, in that now siege operators behave more like military dwarves, in that they will stay at their post even when presented with something scary, and rather than running away from it, will shoot it. They will also stay at their post even when they become hungry and thirsty, which is slightly less helpful, but still probably quite useful, except that this seems to apply even when they're training, which is a bit silly. Anyway, but it does rather look like this also means that they will rush out and start beating up the zombies with their bare hands if they run out of rocks, crossbow bolts, or what have you. And so, yes, our dwarf here has gone out and attacked the various zombies outside the front gate of the fortress. Yes, I mean, if she'd taken part of the siege engine with her to beat them up, that would have helped, but she didn't. And she doesn't have a weapon, and she doesn't have any armour. So this puts her in a rather unfortunate position. But what I discovered just before we stopped on Friday is that there aren't actually that many zombies out there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, 9 zombies would probably be a bit tough for my military if they encountered them all at once, and if they were all like reasonably effective and armed. But if we can pick them off a bit one at a time, maybe we can actually take them. Seb asks, how long does it take to train up a new siege operator? Not actually very long, because we can just attach them to the training bolt thrower, and like we could probably have a decent batch in time for the next siege. But it would be nice not to lose this one. Plus, like, there are still at least 2 civilian dwarves for reasons unknown outside the fortress, and it would be quite nice to get them back as well. So yeah, I'm kind of tempted to see if our military can deal with this. And then, like, because I think if we send 20 dwarves out there and they don't encounter all of the zombies at once, especially given some of the zombies are like somewhat beaten up anyway. That one does still have an axe. That one has no weaponry at all. Where are the others? So there's 3 around that old farm. There's one here who does have a warhammer, but doesn't appear to be able to stand, or at least doesn't appear to be standing. And I think there's one more, yes, a bit up the hillside here, who I don't think we've encountered at all. I think they're all soggy because it's raining. It's quite simple. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is to get my 2 useful squads and tell them to assemble in the Barbican. And maybe we should temporarily should we temporarily raise the outer drawbridge? No, let's not. Indeed, let's go the other way and lower the other half. With the aim that then they won't fall off the bridge as they're leaving. And we'll see how this goes. Like maybe this siege operator will die in less time than it takes the military to just get themselves organised. Who knows? But like so far, the zombie is turning out less strong than one might expect and is merely bruising our siege operator. But on the other hand, like the military dwarves are going to take quite some time to arrive, so and probably for safety, I think we should temporarily ask any dwarves any remaining siege operators. Actually, no. Let's ask any remaining siege operators not to use that catapult and to use the bolt thrower instead, because catapults are a bit more dangerous than bolt throwers. Right, yes, they're stunned because they've just charged down the zombie. Which seems to have left the corpse surprisingly inactive, but on the other hand, punching a zombie really doesn't do very much unless you're very strong. So one dwarf is heading out towards the outside world, equipped with a battle axe they don't really know how to use. A helm and some leggings and no other armour. So, like, this is not necessarily going to be the world's greatest success. Are you any better? You've got more armour. No more skill, though. And the problem is that fundamentally, unless you can smash the zombie's skull, you're not actually going to do any good by punching it. Oh, nasty. That's not going to be good for our siege operator. I mean, like, it's not fatal, but fundamentally we are going to have to get to you pretty quickly. Okay, we're going to have to get to you very quickly to save you. Bruising the muscle and fracturing the lower spine's bone is, yeah.
That's not a good sign.
Okay, if we can't actually get our rescue mission even into the Barbican before the subject is looking very dead, then maybe we don't send them outside. I mean, well done on tearing a tendon. Pity they don't need tendons, as far as I know. I should pay attention. Yes, so as long yes, it mostly it seems that the zombies are much more dangerous actually when not armed, based on that. Like the hits with the hammer mostly just cause bruising. Oh, we did get a chipped bone there.
The siege operator falls over and then immediately punches the zombie in the head.
Don't know.
I think geometry is a bit confused in this fight.
Maybe they both fallen down.
But like, it's the kick that was really. That kick was bad. Was particularly dangerous. Oh no, that was a hammer blow as well. Okay, I'll forgive the hammer then. And now the door. I mean, being bitten is probably relatively safe, but I don't think zombiehood is infectious in this world. But like our rescue squad is still 30 squares away, so right, that may not. Yes. The dwarf hammer dwarf corpse bashes the siege operator in the head with her silver warhammer, bruising the muscle and fracturing the skull. Yeah, I don't think our siege operator is sufficiently long for this world. I'm not sure that I mean, I suppose you're lacking other attacks now, but nonetheless, biting a zombie is probably not going to be highly effective. You unfortunately are a mechanic and not a siege operator, so you're not in imminent danger of shooting at this zombie. I mean, I suppose I could make you a siege operator. Go on. Odom Mommers Zasses, since you're in the vicinity. Temporarily be a siege operator. I mean, it will admittedly take a little while before. Stop taking items to the depot. Does that bolt thrower not have any bolts in? Oh dear, right, okay. This may not help because the bolt thrower needs to be loaded first. Something happened there. I mean, you've bitten the zombie in the head. The load bolt thrower task hasn't yet even started. Right, there's some good biting going on, but so she's entered a martial trance, but this may not help given I think she has a broken neck. What are you guys doing? They're now biting one another. The siege operator bites the dwarf hammer dwarf corpse in the left foot. The dwarf hammer dwarf corpse bites the siege operator in the right lower leg.
Oh, bite your legs off.
Yes, I think they're both biting one another's legs off now. They have both latched on firmly. They are just stuck, each with their teeth embedded in the other's leg. The rescue party is still quite a long way away. Oh dear, that was unfortunate. Punches the siege operator in the right eye with the right hand and the injured part collapses. Right, you're not going to be seeing with that again. I think the siege operator may have run out of attacks, owing not being able to bite anything, owing to the fact that she had already clamped onto the zombie's foot or whatever it was, is now pushing them with, which is the kind of default attack that even sponges can do. Yes. Unfortunately, the hammer dwarf corpse has rather more attacks available. So we're getting a lot of the siege operator pushes the dwarf hammer dwarf corpse, but the attack is deflected by the hammer dwarf corpse alpaca leather trousers, and then the dwarf hammer dwarf corpse bashes the siege operator in the lower body, bruising them. And yes, neither of these is a very effective attack, mind, but the rescue squad is still some distance away. How many of them are there? Can I just send them straight outside, do we think? I think we could. So let's send them to their but we'll probably cancel that order when it turns out to be a terrible idea. Like when our siege operator's dead anyway. Actually, what I could do is to look at this here, couldn't I? I mean, we really want to also be able to see how they're doing. I can't quite position that where I want. Also, of course, I can't now get at the sheet for our dying siege operator. Yeah. Why does that only work on alternate presses, eh? No, I can't quite see what they're up to. Ow. So, I mean, there's not a lot of injury going on either side, but the zombie is definitely getting the better of this. The siege operator has been stunned. The siege operator has been stunned again. I've improved my dodging. That was satisfying. She has left her martial trance, which is probably not good.
The only remaining attack is a push, which is a bit worms.
Yes. I think she can still bite, except that I think she's busy. She,
Already.
yes. She doesn't really want to let go. Okay, there are actually a bunch of, while that was going on, this bunch of dwarves have reached the entrance. So I think I'm kind of committed to this rescue mission now. Okay, I think the first person to arrive turns out to be unarmed, but at least adequately armoured. Oh no, someone else has turned up with like an actual axe, I think. So you've turned up unarmed because that's obviously sensible. You have turned up with a silver battle axe, but no knowledge of how to use it. Apparently enough knowledge of how to use it, though. I mean, you at least managed to successfully make contact with the enemy with your battle axe.
As long as the battle axe survives contact with the enemy.
So unfortunately our siege operator has just been badly beaten again. She no longer has much of a left ankle. See, doing that kind of thing is useful. Hacks the hammer dwarf corpse in the right lower arm with his bronze battle axe, and the severed part sails off in an arc. That's hammer dwarf corpse. Where's a hammer dwarf corpse? Not quite sure which one that was, because that's surely a swords dwarf, yes. That's an axe dwarf corpse. I mean, that one's a hammer dwarf corpse, but it's too far away. Right, and see, here's where you win by having armour. You only get bruised when someone slashes you in the leg with a steel sword. Oh, it gets worse for our poor siege operator. She's now passed out from exhaustion. I think she is not going to get rescued. I think, though, we may do all right. In particular, someone turns out to be a bit of a natural with a battle axe. You didn't want that leg, did you? Still can't work out where they are and who they're attacking, mind, but I'll take it. It's right. I should see if I can track them down. Merle Febezum. All right, it's this one. I'm just not sure where the hammer dwarf corpse that they are allegedly fighting is, because I can't find it anywhere nearby. Oh dear, that's the siege operator deaded. So rescue attempt failed. Now we just have to rescue the rescuers. Well, actually, I don't think we do. I think we're going to go all out to avenge Domas Rodim Sibrek. But the hammer dwarf corpse finally got to her head and smashed her skull, especially given she already had a fractured skull once she'd stopped fighting. Oh well, what is that? Is this Merle Febezum again? No, it's not. Oh well, I mean that's pretty good. You've destroyed that one by cleaving its head asunder. But that's also a pretty decent approach. Slap the hammer dwarf corpse in the head with the flat of your bronze battle axe, and the injured part is crushed. I'm getting to quite like battle axes against zombies. They may not technically be the most appropriate weapon because they're not crushing weapons, but they do appear to be adequately crushing, and if your zombie has no limbs, it's probably not very dangerous anyway. And they do seem, even in the hands of an incompetent, they seem to be pretty effective at removing zombies' limbs. Now everyone is being sad. Thomas Waded Salve is really dead. I am not... Okay, they're not feeling sad. I am not feeling sad right now. There are zombies to kill. But I think we've just dealt with 2 of them. Let's just check that is actually correct. So we said there were 9 before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, we're now down to 7. With no significant injuries to our military. To these military, anyway. So there are 2 zombies up the hill here. So I think we should head up there next. I mean, there is one there climbing up the wall, but I think they'll have to be left for now. This is always a slightly worrying message, but he jumps away when you're near a great big hole in the ground. No, that seems to have been a safe jump, reasonably. Right, so you've come up to the next level. And then jumped away again. I mean, I'm sure this is great for your dodging skill. I think over a slope they don't get hurt when they fall. Someone else is coming to have a go now. Okay. When you manage to... Oh, gods. Don't try to attack that zombie by clambering out along the battlements. Wait for it. Have some patience. Go after the ones you can get at. Like our sensible friend here, who has just in one blow beheaded the zombie that killed the siege operator, despite having no idea how to use a battle axe. Skills, dabbling axe dwarf. But he's only currently listed as having killed 1 human. That wasn't a human. That was a... I mean, maybe you don't get counted if you kill... It doesn't get counted if you kill a zombie. So... Yes, well done. You've taken one of the feet off the zombie. I'm slightly concerned by that message. The dwarf mace dwarf corpse kicks the recruit in the lower body, but the attack passes right through. I mean, I'd expect that for a ghost, and maybe even if you're attacking a zombie and it's kind of squishy, but
That's reminding me of those 2 scrabs that got tangled up in my
yes.
Age Odyssey game. That were a bit weird.
Right, yes, you're having fun with hacking them in the body, but that doesn't usually do very much unless you're very effective. That's much more effective. Recruit hacks the dwarf mace dwarf corpse in the head with her bronze battle axe, and the severed part sails off in an arc. One more mace dwarf defeated. Okay, that's all the ones on that Z level around there dealt with. There's still that one there, which I think occasionally these dwarves try to get at. Possibly they could do it from this Z level. And there's another zombie just up here. So let's say head in the direction of that zombie, and possibly they can lean over the edge here and hack at that one while they're passing. What are you up to? Why are you airborne? Oh, are you leaping? No, I don't know what you're doing. You're leaping in that direction for reasons unclear. And then being very confused when you landed. Look, you could just have run or even walked. Okay, the clambering zombie has now moved away from the edge and maybe about to actually engage the dwarves. Look, you're being unnecessarily effective here. The mace dwarf corpse attacks the recruit, but he jumps away. The recruit hacks the mace dwarf corpse in the head with his bronze battle axe, and the severed part sails off in an arc. Another successful decapitation. Right. No. I mean, I think we're down at like 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, where are they? There's one out in the middle of that field. There's that one climbing up the battlement, up the fortifications. There's one to the south on the hillside. And there's one a little less far into the field. Into the forest. The dead forest. So where was the one on the hillside again? That was the third one. Right, so to the south, about 1 Z level down. Okay. Let's head that way then. If anyone manages to deal with the one that's climbing the fortifications, that's fine. If not, they'll probably wander inwards and get hit by one of our weapon traps. Stop doing bring item to depot jobs. I mean, I can probably find a way to stop that properly, but cancelling them occasionally will do. I may unpause briefly and see what happens. Right. Okay, the zombie that was climbing the battlements has now crashed to the floor, which would be fine, except there appears to be an injured dwarf down there who has possibly also fallen into the moat. I don't know whether that being forbidden is of any significance. I think we thus want to rescue the dwarf at the bottom of the moat, and we should thus change our target to go down into the moat and destroy the zombie down there. Though there is also a peasant out here who is somewhat in danger from that zombie. So, like, both of them are going to want rescuing. But all being well, but this peasant can move. And like that, the axe dwarf corpse has at least got rather badly beaten up by the spikes at the bottom of the... That's excellent. That was precisely what the spikes were for. They were intended to catch someone who was trying to climb the walls and who lost their grip, that they would fall down and get spiked by the spikes. And they have indeed got spiked by the spikes. That's happy. So that zombie's still a decent distance away. Yes, I think prioritising the one at the bottom of the moat is probably a good idea. Someone is already down there. Yes, yes, we're finding that all of our siege operators are dead, sadly. Well, I mean, all but one. Okay, I think that's actually... That's surely not that recruit, that's surely that recruit, yes. Snooze, good night, Claire. Oh, that axe-dwarf is competent-ish. Successfully hacks the recruit in the left foot with his bronze battle axe, but the attack is deflected by the recruit's bronze high boot.
He says, oh, it's heart is still there.
Yes.
Almost enough. Recruit bashes the axe dwarf corpse in the head with her copper mace, bruising the skin and fracturing the skull. That's not quite enough to kill a zombie, but it'll soften its skull up a bit, which will probably help. Yes, that'll do. Second clobbering, head crushed. No more zombie there. Right, so now we can send everyone after this one. Okay, we've found another axe dwarf corpse. All right, yes. Right, there we go. Hacks the axe dwarf corpse in the head, severed part sails off in an arc. So I think that's now 2 zombies remaining. 1, 2, and they're both in the dead forest. So I think we should just say
I put it up in my small bedroom because I usually sleep there. When my sister arrived, I had to sleep in the sofa cushions.
kill both of those.
She was delighted by the article and the looks of it all.
Also, I'm going to suspend the burrow because I think we are going to dispose of these remaining zombies pretty quickly, and I want someone to come and rescue the injured recruit at the bottom of the moat. Yes, many people are really dead.
I said, you obviously not obvious, aren't you?
That's not actually any combat messages. Right, our new mace dwarf recruit has turned up and started attacking this zombie. And it's like breaking bones, but that's not going to be very effective.
Will you hit super again?
But that will be effective. Right, one more to go. Wow, that's an enormous mob of dwarves now. And there it goes. Hacked in the head, 7 part sails off in an arc. These completely unskilled axe dwarves are surprisingly effective. I mean, to be fair, the completely unskilled mace dwarves usually require 2 hits to the head, one to break the skull and then one to crush it. So, like, yeah, I'm slightly surprised at how little training we need and how much we just need everyone to have decent armour and decent weapons. Oh, and now I have a couple of messages that unfortunately I have. Actually, we can probably find someone who thought it, can't we? The forces of the Copper Lances have shattered against. Oh, the Copper. Oh, right, yes, I suppose that's right. Against filled tombs. Fantastic. She feels triumph after the forces of the Copper Lances were defeated at filled tombs. It is slightly weird to think of them as the forces of the Copper Lances, but they technically are, in that the site government of the Tower of Vesselplatted is called the Copper Lances, even though it presumably consists of basically one necromancer.
I wasn't aware that we knew that the zombies had come from there.
We don't know. We weren't told that. No, which is kind of interesting. We weren't told that they'd come from the Necromancer Tower. I mean, obviously they did, but right. So now one thing that we need to do is to reclaim all of the objects that we have that were forbidden. Let's do that in stages. Let's initially just reclaim everything outside at the front entrance of the fortress and at the bottom of the moat, and then we'll do others later. Bits of zombies should be disposed of in the rubbish dump. This being the slight advantage of maces, which is that they don't leave bits of zombies all over the place. Crossbow bolts will be automatically collected and put back in a sensible place. We'll eventually tidy up all of the rubbish, but I like let's prefer at least the bits that people are going to walk past lots. I may be repeatedly clicking on the same set squares now, which is a mistake. They brought some nice weapons with them. Like, they may not come with any armour. And it's probably for the best that they don't believe in ranged weapons. Right, and the bottom of the moat as well should also be cleared out. We're already getting tasks scheduled to retrieve crossbow bolts and put them back where they belong, which is nice. I mean, there is a bit of a problem with actually that shouldn't be dumped because that can be buried. There is a bit of a problem that these will all now be single stacks of single crossbow bolts rather than nice big 25 bolt stacks, and so will take longer to load. Right, where's that minecart? I think we don't actually want to install. Oh yes, that is safe to install now, isn't it? Yes. But let's not. Let's set up a lever as the repeater emergency stop. Oh, we already have, and it's linked, and it's linked. Okay, don't worry about that then. Carry on installing that minecart. I'm further ahead than I thought. Right. So now there will probably be a bunch of burials and disposals. And people insisting on bringing items to the depot. We can also allow planting again. Oh, which we never... I thought we'd set that to nobody does this. And we should look at the siege operator situation because I think we're short of them. Because they kept running out and getting themselves killed. Let's remove you and put in some people who don't currently have any profession at all. Get ourselves back up to 4. And then one of them at least can be practicing with the practice siege engine. Also, no, I don't think we need to do anything about that. Well, we'll watch. Oh, and that siege, that bolt thrower can now be left in keep loaded but do not stand ready mode. All right, yes, there's a bunch of dead zombie dwarves down here as well, aren't there? Let's deal with those. Including some that I think may be stuck in traps that we need to dismantle in order to get the bits out. Let's at least start with the ones we can find. Meanwhile, we could try to finish some of our other mechanisms, so we could deal with, we could try to sort out this one-way door system for letting dwarves in but not out. Make a bit more space there to put the lever for it. And then, yes, it will just have a tunnel that leads out to there.
I'm sure that was a spear dwarf corpse that flashed up on the screen very quickly there, but I read it as a space dwarf corpse. And I wouldn't trust dwarves in space.
No.
Given their tendency to forget half their armour, the first EVA would destroy dwarf civilization.
Right, I should see how we're doing for tombs, because I haven't noticed any items being scheduled for storage in tombs. No. Which makes me think we may not have enough again. All right, everything up here is forbidden. Let's fix that. But we'll still forbid those items so that no one tries to eat the food up here. Some migrants have arrived.
And this time, nothing's trying to eat them.
Hooray! We have someone who is a skilled suturer. Okay, is that orderly then? I don't know if we actually have orderlies officially assigned, but we're currently on everyone does this. But like, we may be getting to the point where it's worth having particular people. And a stray reindeer cow. We don't want reindeer. It's not named yet. Let's slaughter it before it gets a name. If we can. Similarly, oh no, I think we are deliberately keeping the llama because we can occasionally shear it for wool. A fairly unexciting, unskilled peasant. A novice trapper. Another peasant. We are going to need more beds and bedrooms and such soon, aren't we? Right, that seems to be the whole wave. Good. Right, so I should think about this repeater, really. So, yes, let's... So there's still mobs of people hauling items in and out of the fortress, mostly in. Right, we now have at least some place item in tomb jobs going on. Good. So, the repeater. Let's think about this. So, do we have all the stuff in place? So we're going to want to demolish that so we can do some maintenance work on it. So what we have is a bridge down here that will crush the phenomenal, now quite phenomenal number of objects in the rubbish disposal system, and a floor hatch a few Z levels above it, whose purpose is primarily to be closed whenever the bridge is raising, so that the objects that are thrown up in the air by the bridge when it raises don't hit dwarves who happen to be standing somewhere above. So we can operate both of these with pressure plates, and the plan is we operate them both with pressure plates off this somewhere around 400 tick cycle repeater that I can never find there. A pressure plate, when a minecart runs onto it, will open a floor hatch and will I think raise a bridge. Yes, because in particular, if we think of the example in Keskalokil, we had a pressure plate that the zombies would step on and it would open the bridge in order to drop them. Not the zombies, the goblins would step on and it would open the thing to drown them. So that and they will do that for about 100 ticks in each case. So what we want, therefore, is to have the cycle be something like open floor hatch, wait 100 ticks, close floor hatch, because that basically is as long as we can hold it open for. Then raise bridge, wait 100 ticks, lower bridge. The extra confusion is that bridges have 100 tick propagation delay, and so we need to put the pressure plate for the bridge 100 ticks earlier than we think than it actually needs to operate. So I think that what that means is that we have the floor hatch pressure plate, and then 90 degrees after that we have the bridge pressure plate. And probably ideally we would have the bridge pressure plate just after a door so that we have the best possible chance of stopping it operating. So I think we should put a pressure plate here that operates the bridge, and a pressure plate about here that that probably a bit further, yeah, somewhere around there, that operates the floor hatch. So let's request those. So we want one there. We're going to need to make more mechanisms. And one, and this is like, so that's, the second half of the loop is going to be a bit slower. So we want this like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 squares back or so. Put it there, that's 1, 2, 3, I can't remember where that was, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on from there, which is about right. So let's go for there. So those, I think, are the two pressure plates we want to install. So we now have quite a lot. Actually, we can click here, can't we, and say how many nearby bolts are there? 271 at the moment. And I think most of the bolts that at least got fired nearby have now been reclaimed. So allow bolts a little bit further afield to be reclaimed. So there's more bits of zombie down here that can be got rid of. There we go. There may be quite a lot of going, oh, and here's another bit of zombie that we could dispose of. Because they do, especially when you attack them with axes, tend to leave bits all over the place. It's going weirdly sluggish already. Yes, they are. Right, if this... What time is it? It is only 11:15, yeah. I'm probably going to have to do the stupid dance with killing ex-Wayland in a bit in order to recover from the current mess. Okay, there aren't actually that many zombie parts down there. And like getting rid of them will help cheer up people who would otherwise, or rather will cause people to be less unhappy as a result of encountering zombie parts lying around. Oh, mechanisms, yes, make more mechanisms. Oh, a Gorlak has come and attacked some of our war dogs. Gorlak seems to like wrestling. The war dog seems to have forgotten it has teeth.
It's fine if it's on the other side. It's on your side that's less good.
Yeah, I think this is our war dog.
Yes.
And the Gorlak's Gorlak.
The Gorlak is now in a cage, though. So that should probably be part of our... It should be, if we tag Gorlaks as one of the things we want to throw into a pit. Gorlaks, there we are. That will then get put in the right place for disposal into the please leave our fortress alone area, which admittedly they don't actually seem to leave the fortress, they just hang around on the edge of the map, but hey, it's better than hanging around somewhere where they will cause us trouble. Right, so here is a mechanic coming up to install one of those pressure plates. Also, we have a troll attacking a Batman blowgunner. I think the Batman is not winning.
That's okay. I'll go back to the Batcave, clan a bit, and come back.
Oh, the merchants will be leaving soon. They managed to stay here for the entire duration of the zombie siege, which is probably helpful. I was wondering how we were going to get rid of them safely, but it turned out not to be such a problem as the last. Well, actually, the last batch weren't much of a problem. They left via the tunnels, via the caverns, because there wasn't another way out. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff going on down in the caverns regarding this blowgunner and troll, but we don't really care about it. We have slaughtered a reindeer because we don't believe in livestock here. Oh, and we want a lever to operate the one-way door, don't we? Right, we are now out of mechanisms. We can't actually finish the repeater until we get some more mechanisms made. What happened to you? Oh, right. I think you fell into the moat, you fool. Well, now you get to spend a while in traction while your various fractures heal. More bits of zombie to dispose of. So do we still have bits of zombie stuck in this weapon trap? Doesn't look like it, no, okay. Maybe we can, we don't have to dismantle them and clean them then. Good. Is that a named pig? Yes. Slightly concerned by people coming into the fortress bearing mugs. That suggests they've been out drinking somewhere they shouldn't have been drinking. Oh, yes, we should just check, but I'm fairly sure that Nil Ledzeg, who was out playing in the dead forest when the zombie siege turned up, survived.
And he's still playing or just playing again?
And is still playing, though no longer in, but now rather closer to home and not out in the dead forest.
Right. And still has all their limbs.
Yes, I don't think they ever even encountered the. They never actually. She never actually met the zombies.
I mean, I have to say, given the general competence of dwarves, this is probably for the best. Especially for dwarven children.
Yes, I think essentially the zombies were so easily distracted by by me opening the front door to the fortress that they never wandered that far for the most part. Like 2 of them got that far, I think, and didn't actually find the child. Oh, a secretive mood. Let's wait until they've claimed a. Workshop, if they ever will.
Okay, right.
Right, and our
This went from the table and I don't want it.
merchants have at least nominally embarked on their journey. Right, oh, you've claimed a metalsmith's forge, excellent. And are apparently finding your stuff, the things you might need. There's Mincott. You've claimed a surprising metalsmith's forge, so you're conveniently already a legendary weaponsmith. Okay, well, we know you're. In that case, you are probably making an artifact weapon, which would be nice. Okay, we have a couple more stray dogs, which we might want to train into war dogs. On which subject? No, those, slightly surprisingly. Where's that cage ended up? There was a cage with a Gorlak in it down here. Is someone currently moving it?
If the Gorlak's alive, you could find it in the list of
Yeah, that's a point.
creatures.
Okay, it's not quite in. It's that square is has both a wheelbarrow, is part of the stockpile and has a wheelbarrow on it, which is why we can't see it. Right. So we should now ask that Gorlak be thrown down a pit.
Throw it in a pit. Yes, no.
Yes. Right. Oh, what's the tomb situation? Most we don't have any items waiting to be placed in a tomb. So I suppose we can do this looking at this, can't we? So we do have unassigned bedrooms, so we're not in a bad situation for them. We don't have any unassigned tombs though. I'm kind of we haven't admittedly had any dwarves raised from the dead, but I'm kind of tempted to start walling in at least some of our tombs preemptively. So let's wall in this like group.
I assume that smashing corpses to atoms is frowned upon.
Yes, that tends to cause ghosts.
Yeah, you can put memorials up.
Yes, but that's faffy.
So is walling in tombs. Newt stream.
It's true. I suppose this consumes almost. This might even no. This consumes less stone per unit. Ghost avoided. Right, but then we're going to want to dig out some space for another mass grave, I think. Right, and we don't currently have any coffins, so let's make some more rock coffins. We now mostly don't have dead dwarves lying around the entrance to the fortress, which is probably good. At some point I'd like to lower this drawbridge, but I'm slightly scared that we might kill someone if we do so, while there are so many dwarves going in and out. So I should avoid that.
Clean towels. And can you put micropore tape on the list, please?
And we're now starting to get mechanisms made. That's nice. So one of the things we want to do with mechanisms is to link that to that bridge there, and name this we haven't tested the one-way door yet, but it might work. Right, that's nice. I don't think we have much to do with the rooster. All right, that's the merchants finally actually departing, is it? Excellent. And they seem not to have a problem with the traps as long as they haven't brought a wagon. Oh, a child. There's another bit of zombie there. We still like occasionally turn up bits of zombie that need to be got rid of. How did you leave your hand all the way over there? I mean, I know how the crossbow bolts end up in odd places because the zombies get the crossbow bolts stuck in them and then pull them out later. Right, so I think it's a bit of a question of do we have these? So that one operates the bridge, doesn't it? Yes. And that one operates the floor hatch. So let's link that one up to that floor hatch. The bridge requires a bit more care because we do kind of want the dwarves to stop dropping things into the rubbish dump while someone's hooking up the bridge. But actually, we could just disable the rubbish dump for now, couldn't we? That will work fine. And then we could, then this one wants to be linked to that bridge.
Jess videos have just got better. So Gotham Jess is one of the main Jess stream type people. He often reviews Magnus Carlsen one to one because it's good material and he works in quite a lot and he can offer it. There's now apparently a small series of videos of Magnus Carlsen commenting on the videos of Gotham Jess commenting on Magnus Carlsen. So he's watching him doing obviously the first comment says, Gotham should review this.
More puppies, good. Oh yes, we should train any useful looking dogs for war. Pets. Oh, those dogs are ordinary and grown up, so they can't be trained for war. But those two can. Then we could possibly just like leave stray war dogs. Hang on, what was that message? What? Okay, well, we'll wait for the next message if it turns up. It was apparently a human swordsman getting into a fight with a giant olm, which suggests they're somewhere in the caverns. Are you lying down outside because you don't have a bedroom? There are only 2 free bedrooms now. I mean, you seem to be doing a pretty effective job of killing that giant olm. I'm just slightly wondering what you're doing down there. Are you a merchant? Yes. Why are you leaving by way of the caverns? You strange person. It's not actually a sensible way to leave my fortress at the moment.
Well, they haven't got the message that the siege is over.
They should have. Right. Minkot has begun a mysterious construction. It appears to involve some Billen which is a bit worrying. Some reindeer leather, tiger leather, leopard leather, more leopard leather, cassiterite gizzard stones, some bituminous coal and some magnetite gizzard stones. Okay. So that one's linked. And that one's linked. Oh no, that one's still being linked. Of course, no one's going to be dumping anything for now because I've suspended dumping in order to make linking up that bridge safe, I hope. Oh, this is getting quite sluggish. Have still got some free swap. What am I looking for? Oh yes, who's doing that link? That one has ended up suspended. Okay, let's unsuspend it. One of our dogs has been trained for war. You at least are linking something to a pressure plate. And are now finished. So that one has no outstanding jobs. And that one has no outstanding jobs. So now we could try releasing the minecart and seeing if that causes the rubbish disposal system to work properly. But first, let's put that wall back. I think there is now a pillar there. It's just hard to see it behind the miasma. Right, okay, so now there's a lever somewhere up here. That is repeater control. Pull the lever. That one-way door is also available now, I think. So at some point soon that door will open and this minecart will start moving. All being well at the correct speed. There it is. So that first pressure plate will open the floor hatch. The floor hatch is open. It was open already. That one will do nothing for a little while, but sometime around now the floor hatch should close. There we have one closed floor hatch. But in about 100 ticks, which is sometime around here, the bridge has been raised, which of course does nothing because it was raised already. But then 100 ticks later than that, this square should be splatted by it being lowered. And at that point, the floor hatch is still closed, but if we wait a bit, floor hatch opens with bridge. Well, it's hard to tell with all the miasma, but I think it's down. Floor hatch closes, and then bridge raises and bridge lowers. Right, that seems to be working correctly. So now, hopefully, we might now have a non-fatal rubbish dump. Hopefully.
Stupid not able to play YouTube in mono nonsense group. I can't find a way of making it out to sound genuinely mono engineering.
Right,
Overdubbing
we have a new artifact weapon. It's an artifact short sword, which is quite useful. It is named Target God the Poetic Fungi, which might indicate that the person who designed it was not wholly sane. The fact that they made it from Billen is another suggestion that they might not have been wholly sane.
I mean, the fungi suggest that it might not be a sanity problem, it might be an on weird substances problem.
Yes. Old craft dwarf ship is of the highest quality. It is encrusted with rectangular cassiterite cabochons, cushion bituminous coal cabochons, and cushion magnetite cabochons, decorated with tiger leather and leopard leather, and encircled with bands of Billen and reindeer leather. On the item is an image of Ngotol Ashshade, the Gloom Brute, and dwarves in leopard leather. Ngotol Ashshade is surrounded by the dwarves. The artwork relates to the rise of the Gloom Brute Ngotol Ashshade as an enemy of the noble work in the midsummer of 88 during the rampage of the Gloom Brute Ngotol Ashshade in sabre pulls. Okay, I mean, it's probably an alright weapon, being an artifact but also being made of Billen.
And let's not forget that these very highfalutin sounding cassiterite cabochons are hastily repurposed gizzard stones.
Yes. Which is why they're made of such unhelpful materials. So now items put in there get... Right, let's just test this. So here are a couple of bits of dwarf sitting on top of that, on top of the bridge in the rubbish dump. And at some point the bridge will raise. Some point the bridge will raise. Sorry, I should possibly not be doing this by pressing dot repeatedly, but it'll happen eventually. Unless the repeater's broken down already, but we would have got a message about it running down someone, with someone being run down by a minecart if it were. Whee! The object gets hurled in the air, but notably only goes one Z level up because it runs into the bottom of that floor hatch, falls to the ground again, and shortly gets destroyed, we hope. But it is 100 ticks later and I am going one tick at a time. There we go. Destroyed. Slightly concerningly, I'm still watching it, but no, I can't actually watch it. Right, so yes, that was a demonstration of the rubbish dump, not throwing things at people's heads. So that's good. Can we dispose of that head as well? Meanwhile, tombs. We've got no. Some coffins made now. So let's make another mass grave here. And fill it up. Ooh, a gremlin. Oh, not actually a problematic gremlin, I don't think. As in, it's currently outside the fortress. Let's see what happens to it. And it doesn't even need any driving away. It is naturally going away. I mean, I'm slightly alarmed by the way that these dogs are flickering, but what are they doing? So one reason why we might want to have war dogs around as like early warning systems is to spot incoming elves, which seems like a good plan. So one place it occurs to me that we're likely to have dwarves who might be embarrassed by incoming elves is around the fields. Can we just like pasture the war dogs out here? Like if I mark that area as a pasture and then say which war dogs are the ones that are, let's assume that the top two are the ones that are assigned downstairs and put the bottom three down here and see what that does. Oh, we should reclaim all of the objects in that seed store as well. And all of those rocks. Though it will be a bit tedious hauling them all back to the fortress. And that dead elf, whose skeleton we should crush. Ooh, some bolts there we can reclaim as well. Those both look like elven names, so I think those can be just destroyed. On the other hand, those are bits of a dwarf, and so they need to be buried. Oh, we had a stray water buffalo who didn't grow up for so long they actually starved to death instead. Oops. That's rather a curious object. It's labelled peasant left foot, as though we've forgotten whose foot it was.
And given that Dwarf Fortress normally remembers the exact origin of every tiny spectre
Yes.
of blood.
I mean, the zombies get labelled like that, but or similarly to that, but none of them was a peasant. They were all military. Ah, Datan Sakarush peasant has been found dead. I mean, possibly that was someone who died as a result of the
Accidental foot extraction.
possibly. They've been found dead on a staircase, on a like really very busy staircase. That's kind of alarming. Have they got foot? Yes. It's not listed as a mutilated corpse. So I don't think it's their foot. Anyway, I'm a bit concerned about that, but in the meantime, let's mark some tombs so that Datan Thingamy and others, as necessary, can be properly entombed. So that should now have spawned a load more. Okay, only one store item in tomb job, which appears to be the has been spawned by that, which appears to be the peasant in question. What do I want to do that? Right. So, rubbish disposal now functioning correctly. We are gradually getting ourselves, I hope, some new siege operators. Okay, those two are really good at it. Those two don't seem to have got any practice yet. Let's temporarily disable the two who are brilliant at it so that the other two get a chance to practice. Right. So what else am I thinking about now?
Constantly accidentally pressing spaces, so I needed to make sure it didn't do anything harmful.
So
What you should do is, I don't know if I've asked the what you should do is just scroll through gibberish on the bottom line as though it's going through some pages with it.
Yes. Notice the logo.
So, are those dogs turning up anytime soon?
Likes elephants.
Making it take on the camera.
Tusks of the trunk.
Right, yeah, so that now we have some, at least a stray dog there, which will mean that that if some elves turn up, we might spot them. So we can probably like scatter stray dogs around the edge, except of course then they'll die whenever we get a zombie incursion, maybe. Oh, what time is it? This is annoying. I've got half an hour to go, but my system is getting sluggish as it looks like Wayland has eaten almost all of the memory. So I'm going to do my usual slightly tedious trick of saving and restarting Dwarf Fortress so that we don't have a horrible crash and I don't lose the last hour and a half of faffing. So things will be slightly boring. I do actually have a button here somewhere that might play pleasant music in the event of a slight technical problem, but that's more for cases where I can't tell you what's going on. And here I can just keep blithering even though this is going on. At some point maybe I'll like get around to working out how on earth to report this bug.
So your streaming is independent of your playing of Dwarf Fortress.
Right, so now I've got lots of memory again, and now I can start Dwarf Fortress again if only I can find the window I started Dwarf Fortress from.
It collects video from various places, combines them together and squares it out to YouTube format, in my case Twitch or straight to a file or whatever. But yes,
And then we say capture
yes, and it can carry on streaming when that is what everyone's seen.
Dwarf Fortress there.
No, that OBS window is showing what it's seeing. So it won't be, it's not showing the whole screen.
So, hooray, welcome back to Dwarf Fortress. Now we have lots of RAM again. I wonder what we're doing. Well, one thing we could, yeah, let's. I think the next thing that we want to organise is getting more military, because I think the more of our dwarves who are in armour, the better. Actually, let's set up a squad for our siege operators that will be a bit like the buttery brunch in that it will generally not actually be activated, but which will make sure they're wearing armour. And it occurred to me that they, by virtue of spending a lot of time dealing with bolt throwers, they get decent archer skill. So maybe we should actually equip them with crossbows. So we do have a crossbows, metal armour thing, which is probably close to right. The syrups of starting, is that even slightly said? It'll do. Right, so, and that should be filled with, at the very least, our 2 siege operators. Oh, you're in the... Why are you in the crystalline drums? Come and join this one instead. So let's let them work out their equipment very slightly. And we'll at least give them the technical ability to train, I suppose. Well, actually, no, what we should do is just tell them, summon them for inspection and see what they do. Right, yes, you're not very well equipped at the moment, are you? Right, you have successfully found your helm and your boots, and you've successfully found your helm, and that's it. also I think you may be in where I armour over clothing mode, which is unhelpful. So that probably, among other things, means that we need to make more armour. So that also means we have some gaps in the crystalline drums, who are meant to be primarily mace dwarves, but that really doesn't matter. Let's at least fill those up. And similarly, the divine stones are our nominally axe dwarves. There are actually plenty of them. Right. Let's also put drums and the stones back to staggered training, because we probably do want them to practice a little bit. We found another stray yak calf starved to death because it was in the wrong place. I should remember that we should do better than that. Let's dispose of those. Oh, there, the other one was a water buffalo. That stray donkey foal should also be put somewhere where it won't starve to death. As I recall, yes, there's a pasture here. So let's put young grazing animals out there, and also the llama. Fully grown grazing animals, of course, get slaughtered. On which subject we've probably got a pile of animal bits in the butcher's shop that we can destroy now. Okay, slightly surprisingly, we retrieved that giant olm. And some other animal I can't currently identify from its name. Let's just try opening this bridge, partly to check that it works. So why are you in military mode? Oh right, you're leading a weaponsmithing demonstration. How strange. I mean, we are deliberately trying to make weaponsmiths so that we can get some artifact weapons. Now wondering, can I easily check whether we have a decent sword dwarf around? Not very easily. How is the equipment of the crystalline drums looking? Do they all have weapons now? Kind of. Though given the amount of yellow there, we probably at least want to summon them for an inspection. And let's release the syrups. Yes, there is a starving llama there, but we are taking it out to get some food, so it might survive. Animal inaccessible, that's kind of weird. That donkey foal apparently is all right. The llama is no longer starving. Excellent. You're getting a lot of dangerous terrain messages. Is that just because we opened that floor hatch? Oh no! Right, yes. This is what this is. We now get a lot of job cancellations, I think, because people keep trying to route through here, and whenever they tread on that floor hatch, their route suddenly vanishes. This is correct and what we want. Except now we should stop it again, because obviously it's inconvenient. But that does indicate that people will try to go out that way, discover they can't, and come back. Good, right. But can probably still come in that way. We'll get to test that later. I think we have a bit of a problem here with the way that this that whenever this bolt thrower is active, a stupidly large number of dwarves rush in to retrieve the fired bolts. And this is not actually an efficient use of dwarves. I'm also going, where's that bunch of dwarves that we summoned for an inspection? They are nowhere. Have I screwed that up somehow? Yes, I have, right. Crystalline drums. Report for inspection in the barracks. So what I think I should do up here, actually, is to have a tiny bolt stockpile here, which I think will mean removing that ramp first. That receives the bolts that have been fired, and so that no one removes them from there. But it will not actually accept, no one will be trying to deliver bolts to it. But then not have a stockpile behind the bolt thrower. And that way, the person operating the bolt thrower can go and pick up their own damn bolts. Everyone briefly went and delivered things to the stockpile anyway. But like, there isn't a stockpile there now. There's just a bolt thrower. So let's see if this works better now. Oh, that ammo bin. That stockpile should not allow bins. So the bolt thrower is currently being loaded. Then fired. And now our dwarf is going to collect at least some bolts. They can load the bolt thrower from the front, which is quite convenient. It is, of course, a bit slow to load because they're doing it one bolt at a time. So they haven't come in a clip or whatever. Right, they did actually pick up 100 bolts. Right, that now means we don't have a vast mob of dwarves coming in each time that bolt thrower is emptied. That's much more tidy and doesn't worry me so much. So our stationed dwarves have all turned up. Oh, we've got a Marks dwarf, Mebzuth. We should turn them into a siege operator then. So is the crystalline drums' equipment looking now? Oh, that's much better. They have mostly got their stuff. We're a bit short of shields. But everyone does at least have a mace. Right, that's nice. You lot can be dismissed, except that we want to make Mebzuth into an siege operator because they have some of the necessary skills. Right, so you haven't managed to become a competent siege operator because you haven't got to operate the siege engine yet. Let us make that Marks dwarf into also a siege operator and move them into the syrups of starting. They are actually only a novice Marks dwarf, but hey, it's better than nothing. I think that was that vast amount of rushing around was the rocks of Thingamy, or whatever they were called, suddenly all deciding they needed different weapons. So another creature tried to come into the fortress at the bottom. War Dog scratched it. It wrestled the dog. No one really came out on top, and then the troll hit a cage trap. So meanwhile, that cage that contained someone or other is empty. Let's check that. Oops, no. That trolls are allowed in the dumping ground. Right, add trolls. Right, so there is some nice learning going on there. What are you guys doing? Oh, you're engaging in individual combat drill because you have nothing better to do. Okay. Ooh, something's rotting. There's a water buffalo corpse there that we don't want. Get rid of it. What's the bedroom situation? Are they all full yet? Yes, they are. Are all the tombs full? I hope not. No, plenty of unassigned tombs still. Excellent. Right, let's go and do some bedrooming then. So, do we have any like spare proto bedrooms? It doesn't look like we do. I think we filled them all up. Okay. So we're generally trying to stay reasonably close to the staircase to avoid long walks. So I think we now extend that staircase down another Z level. And then work out how we're going to set up some corridors to make that work. So the obvious directions to go are north and south, though like there is a bit of a tight squeeze there. So how many is that wide? Yeah, that we can only fit in a 2 wide bedroom in that gap. So I suppose, yeah, I think the thing to do is probably to start by laying out some reasonably obvious bedrooms on this side of the corridor. Do we like leave a gap and then I mean space per se is not actually a problem. So we could totally run a corridor through there. And then install another pair of bedrooms on that side, and then do something like that. That's silly though. Let's go another bedroom this way. Is 3 a sensible number on that side? Oh yeah, because then we can do that as well. No, that's not right. That's kind of silly. Oh well. Yeah, I still haven't quite got a sensible handle on what's a good bedroom layout. Now that I've got this silly trick of using one door to 2 bedrooms. I think we can mine that banded agate at least. As that isn't anyone's bedroom yet. Oh, it's autumn. Which means it being a new season, there might be a new siege. Or it might not. I mean, there will be eventually.
Good night.
Good night. So why aren't you actually mining that banded agate, you weird people? I'm slightly confused by that. Oh well. Right, so yes, this will then give us... Have we got any beds? we've got a few beds. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, we'll install the 6 beds we've got and then see if we need any more. Or rather, and then make some more, but we might not install them immediately. We might leave them to get decorated first. Let us dispose of that troll as well. Because trolls are at least semi-intelligent, so we don't really want to keep them around. And we don't want to slaughter them. Yes, how many copper maces do we have? If it's more, oh, how are they going to be classified? So they're going to appear as weapons here, but then how do I tell which ones are in a trap? Ah, I reckon ones that are that can't be marked for melting are part of a trap. Okay. So how many are not? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have a lot of copper maces. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So we have enough copper maces lying around to build one more weapon trap out of them. All right, that says we've got 9. Okay. Well, that's probably enough. How are you doing at learning or a proficient siege operator? That's probably enough that we can take you off siege operating for a bit. So yes, what's your... So notably, he's also achieved proficient archer at the same time as achieving proficient siege operator. And like, I think archer is useful for at least being able to aim the thing. Oi, you're not meant to be a siege operator anymore. You're not on the list. Okay, that lot are actually just engaged in military training. Excellent. We appear to have 6 maximally unhappy dwarves. I bet they're not in the 6 that are in the buttery brunch. Partly because there aren't 6 of them. No. So let's deassign everyone from the buttery brunch and then restock it. So it should have Ilral Erib Xenon. But I can't type into here because I'll end up typing into there, but I found them anyway. Oh, only apparently I also can't click on things in there. Okay. This is slightly more tedious than I would like. Rith and Tun. Rith Zasat Tun Lolok. Might also stop them siege operating. And Kerol Onular and Adil Salilat. Yeah, that one. I've already forgotten the first one of them. Anyway. Kel, I think. No, Kerol Onular. Right, and that squad should be in a schedule of constant training, but they don't know how. This is at least an opportunity to go outside and get some clothes on. Okay, apparently putting on nice items has not helped. But interested having an intellectual discussion with a friend. That's probably a good start. Ah, excellent. Someone with, as yet, who is an adequate archer and a novice marks dwarf, now gets to learn their siege operation. There's now a novice siege operator. Excellent. Though is not particularly helpfully dressed. I think I need to fiddle with the armour settings a bit more. You do gain skills quite quickly when operating a bolt thrower, don't you? Oh, we have a caravan. It's just after midnight, so I think I might say that this caravan will wait until Friday rather than trying to deal with it now. There's the caravan. It consists of yaks and dwarves. And will presumably bring us some nice booze, if nothing else. So we will go and visit them. We'll go and see how they get on Friday. And for now, I will save our current state and say good night. if I can find the button for saying good night. Good night.